President Park Geun-hye is in Turkey for the G20 Summit. She says that Korea will take an active part in the international effort to wipe out terrorism. We take a look at North Korea's annual national sports competition. Athletes take part in a challenge to recreate the regime's propaganda slogans. And Kuwansong Waterfall, one of the top 3 waterfalls of Mount Sorak, will soon open to hikers for the first time in 45 years. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Monday, November 16th. I'm Luke Clary. President Park Geun-hye, currently in Turkey to attend the G20 Summit, says that Korea will take an active part in the international effort to wipe out terrorism. Global leaders plan to adopt a special joint statement when the meeting wraps up.
President Park Geun-hye and other heads of state attending the G20 summit began the first day's meeting with a moment of silence for the victims of terrorist attacks in Paris. President Park expressed her condolences to the victims of the inhumane attacks and their families. She also stated that these terrorist acts were an attack against the entire international community, and Korea would take an active part in the international effort to eradicate terrorism. President Park and G20 leaders agreed to provide full support to Paris so that the French capital can successfully host the UN Climate Change Conference, slated to open 2 weeks later. At the working dinner held later in the day, and at the bilateral summit with British Prime Minister David Cameron held on the sideline of the G20 summit, President Park reiterated the need for international cooperation in dealing with emergencies such as terrorism.
By issuing a yellow level alert, the government is advising Korean people refrain from traveling to Paris and areas nearby. Meanwhile, the domestic tourism industry is being hit hard by the terrorist attacks, as many customers have canceled their reservations to Paris.
No Korean casualties have been confirmed so far in the terrorist attacks in Paris. Currently in 24-hour emergency mode, the government is working to check the safety of Korean citizens overseas. In preparation against possible additional terrorist attacks, it also issued a travel advisory for the entirety of France. The government issued an amber-level travel alert for Paris and its surrounding metropolitan area, advising tourists to refrain from traveling there. A blue-level alert of caution is in effect for all other regions in France. The government has boosted security significantly on foreign diplomatic missions and related facilities in preparation against potential terrorist attacks in Korea. A stream of French mourners visited the French embassy in Seoul to express their condolences for the victims of the Paris attacks.
What did you write down?
To be strong and be united and keep fighting.
Korean citizens also mourn the deaths of the victims, laying flower bouquets and candles in 3 colors symbolizing the French national flag in front of the embassy.
We now bring you our news bulletin for today. UN Secretary General Ban KiMoon will visit Pyongyang sometime this week. This will be the first trip in his capacity as UN leader, and the first since his planned visit in May was abruptly canceled by North Korea for unspecified reasons. Speculation at the time was that the North had canceled the visit in response to Ban's remarks that the North Korean missile launches represented a violation of UN Security Council resolutions. It's not known whether he will meet the North Korean leader. North Korea holds a national sports competition every fall, but the events are quite different from the National Sports Festival in South Korea. This year, North Korea added a new event, the goal of which is to get the regime's propaganda slogans right.
This is the final round of an event at an annual national sports competition in North Korea. Players with balloons attached to their waists step up to the starting line. At the sound of the whistle, they run toward the floor mats and roll around to burst the balloons.
터뜨리고 뛰는 선수들이 있는데 아직도 풍선을 터뜨리지 못한 선수가 있습니다.
The participants, shouting in unison, pull the rope with all their might in a tug of war. There is an event where participants are required to pull out balls from baskets using only their heads. These childish games seem to appeal the most to the North Korean crowd. This year's new event, Complete the Slogan, has a man-woman pair complete a propaganda slogan on the board. Slogans such as ones that say the revolutionary spirit of Baekdu are propaganda catchphrases currently played up by the North Korean authorities. Provinces compete against one another in this national sporting event, which started 2 years ago to promote sports among the masses. Beyond a simple sports competition, this event is a political event that aims to strengthen the regime and boost the people's loyalty.
With their superb sense of smell and hearing, dogs are very useful to the military in important functions like detecting explosives. Today, we will bring you a competition that selects a top-notch military dog.
A patrol dog walks gallantly into the competition venue. It remains seated in place at the order. But when an unidentified assailant appears, it dashes forward in a flash. The dog refuses to loosen its grip before it is ordered to do so. 36 patrol and detection dogs participated in the 9th military dog contest, boasting their skills. They easily perform simple tricks such as waiting in place or lying on their bellies. They also have no problem crawling alongside their handlers. However, some dogs are marked down for diverting their attention elsewhere. Detection dogs are mobilized to find hidden explosives.
저희 군견은 뛰어난 후각과 청각으로 공공 기지방어 작전 시 최첨단 장비와 병력으로 탐지할 수 없는 그런 제한상을 극복하는 역할을 가지고 있습니다.
A 7-year-old male shepherd named Nomo, who belongs to the 19th Fighter Wing, was selected as this year's best patrol dog.
A team of Korean scientists has developed a way to transplant stem cells from frozen fish to another fish species for breeding. This technique could be used in the restoration of endangered fish species, such as the bullhead torrent catfish.
A man, unable to bear the pain of losing his girlfriend, undergoes a cryogenic procedure and wakes up from the frozen state 50 years later. Can a frozen animal be resurrected like this in real life? A scientist takes out an indigenous carp that has been kept in the freezer for a year and thaws it out in a solution. This is to collect stem cells from the carp's reproductive organ. The collected stem cells are transplanted to the abdomens of a male and female Japanese goldfish that are still alive. Eggs from the female goldfish are fertilized by the sperm from the male goldfish, and a fry of the indigenous carp are hatched. Brown indigenous carp were birthed by the orange Japanese goldfish. This transplant technology, developed for the first time in the world by a team of Korean scientists, was published in an overseas science journal.
생식 줄기세포를 동결 보존했다가 그 세포를 다른 종의 배에 이식하는 과정을 통해서 알과 정자로 분화시키는 과정을 성공했습니다.
The government has decided to use this interfish transplant technology to restore endangered fish species. The researchers also plan to develop similar transplant technologies for reptiles and amphibians.
These days, a lot of people are paying closer attention to their personal color palette. Meanwhile, colors play an important role in marketing strategies. We examine this rekindled attention to color use.
Kwon Hyuk-jin, 46 years old and self-employed, attended a lecture on personal colors. His goal was to find colors that suit him better, rather than the monotone palette he usually wears. The best colors are found by taking into account the colors of one's face, hair, and eyes, and the images of the 4 seasons.
어두운 색깔이 좀 많이 어울리다고 생각했는데 지금 전체적으로 보면 밝은 계통이 저한테 어울린다 그래서 일단은 궁금도 하고 그런 계통의 옷을 한번 입어보고 싶어요.
Starting with the cosmetics industry, color-naming marketing tactics have been on the rise, as companies are devising names that appeal to the emotions and nostalgia. Cobalt blue was renamed the sky blue of Kimyoung Sea, and glossy beige, a sandy beach created by winds, conveying the image of the colors immediately. The Korean people were once called the white-clad people. Now they are trying to find their own personal colors. Korea's sensitivity to color continues to evolve even now.
Kuwansong Waterfall, one of the top 3 waterfalls of Mount Sorak, has long been closed to the public because of its steep slopes. But later this month, this scenic spot will be open to hikers for the first time in 45 years.
Kuwansong Waterfall, measuring 320 meters in height, is known for its magnificent scenery. The water appears fathomless. It almost looks like white silk left there by fairies. Kuwansong Waterfall is one of the 10 most scenic spots in the Mount Sorak area and one of its top 3 waterfalls. This state-designated cultural property is well known for its mysterious beauty. During winter blizzards, the waterfall presents a breathtaking view. But access to this area has been closed so far because of steep slopes.
유령폭 복가장 왔다가 포항성 독도를 못 올라가게 하는데 거기가 사실적으로 대단한 데 아니야 우리 포항성 독도가. 그래서
Authorities have decided to open access to the waterfall to the public in a bid to revive the region's economy. A 400-meter trail starting at Piryong Falls has been created, and the construction of an observatory deck is underway. Starting at the end of this month, hikers will be able to enjoy the scenery of Mount Sorak at the Yukdam, Piryong, and Kuwansong waterfalls.
Unlike orchestral performances, solo performances and chamber music must be staged in special halls to underscore their subtle sounds. Recently, several performance halls that can deliver the most delicate sounds have opened in Korea.
All of the walls at this compact 170-seat concert hall are finished in wood. The hall was designed like the body of a musical instrument to optimize the acoustics. Even the floor was left uncoated in order to obtain naturally reflected sounds. The hall's noise level is only half as high as that of regular performance halls, thanks to the complete blockage of vibration and outside noise.
굉장히 투명하고 소리가 참 좋습니다. 여기 신락을 여기서 연주하기도 너무 좋고 또 무대에서는 서로 소리도 너무 잘 좋아가 들릴 거고.
This performance hall has also become a popular venue among famed artists. The hall features a special section for music fans where they can enjoy high-quality music files with 3 times the capacity of regular CDs. While not as grand or imposing, smaller performance halls are gaining popularity for their ability to convey even the most delicate sounds.
Dry skin is a common problem in the fall and winter. Rough, flaky skin is not only unsightly, but also the cause of pore blockage and breakouts. Today, we'll show you how to get rid of dead skin cells and keep your skin soft and moisturized.
When the air turns dry in the fall and winter, many people complain of the rough and flaky skin caused by a lack of humidity in the air. Here are some recipes for skin exfoliants using all natural ingredients to minimize skin irritation. The following recipe is for a simple facial scrub. Just mix equal parts of brown sugar and honey. The brown sugar, rich in minerals and vitamins, is effective in removing dead skin cells, while honey has a moisturizing effect. Another recipe calls for 1 part Chinese pearl barley powder, 1 part milk, and a 1/2 part honey. Mineral-rich pearl barley powder is known to remove dead skin cells effectively. Apply this mixture to your face when it's still wet from washing and massage it in for about 3 minutes. In this recipe for an elbow and heel scrub, all you have to do is mix 1 tablespoon of sun-dried salt and 3 tablespoons of sweet almond oil.
한일염은 무기질이 풍부해 각질과 노폐물 제거에 효과적입니다. 또한 스윗 아몬드 오일은 미네랄, 단백질 성분이 풍부해 피부에 보습 효과를 줍니다. 스윗 아몬드 오일이 집에 없으실 경우 올리브유, 카놀라유, 포도씨유 등의 식물성 오일로 대체 사용이 가능합니다.
Finely ground sun-dried salt is mixed with sweet almond oil to make an exfoliant for the arms and legs.
천연물이 들어간 스크럽은 피부에 자극이 덜하고 효과적입니다. 그러나 천연물은 많은 성분들의 복합체이기 때문에 무작정 사용하면 간혹 알레르기 반응 같은 부작용이 생길 수 있으므로 신중하게 사용할 필요가 있습니다.
To prevent the skin from getting too dry and flaking off, drink more than 8 glasses of water a day and maintain an indoor humidity level between 40 and 60%. Also apply a moisturizer 4 or 5 times throughout the day to keep the skin soft and moistened. You don't have to suffer from rough, dry skin this winter. Try these homemade scrubs for healthy, smooth skin.
And now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.